You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
Yeah!
What's
Buddha
up?
monks in the trunk.
Turn the bass up.
You are now listening if you're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and Podbean, and watching on YouTube. Slide over. Boys and girls, and Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin episode. Did you look?
I'm gonna say 82.
You're gonna say 82? I thought that's what.
If you go over, you don't win. Just like Price is Right.
82. So I'm gonna go 82.
Okay, let's go 82.
82. We're episode 82 of the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. We're gonna just jump right into it. Fuck a best and worst because I don't have a best. Everything sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Other than the fact that the homie Terrence bought tickets to NXT Charlotte.
Hell yeah.
And he has an extra ticket, and he's asked the brother to go. So shout outs to T.O. Polk. Find him on Twitter, T-O-P-O-L-K. T.O. Polk, the first person I've met online that loved wrestling, that he got me a ticket
That's
to go
cool.
see that.
Yeah, I got tickets too. I'm stoked. It's going to be the first house show loop with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh.
And who knows who's going to be there, who's going to not be there, because this is going to be after WrestleMania and after the Dallas show of NXT, but also after the Raw after WrestleMania. So there might be a lot of call-ups. So we definitely might be getting Shinsuke Nakamura, but we might be missing like an Enzo and Cass.
I'm going to show up just to yell, Shinsuke! That's all I want to be there. Because I don't know what it is about like watching New Japan Wrestling. There's always that one girl. I don't know. Maybe she's like the New Japan super fan. But she's always like, it's the girl. She's like, Shinsuke! And then there's a dude that's like, Okada! I was like, you've never paid attention to that?
Oh yeah, I think it's just the pitch of the ladies in Japan.
But I think it's just this one girl. I think she's like,
all of them?
Yeah, she's like the Shinsuke girl. And then there's the Okada guy. Okada! I love him. But like, yeah, so we just leave it at that. There's worse that we don't want to really talk about. And I got I got a tweet from your dad. The Real Diamond Dan. That's his Twitter, right?
Yeah.
At the Real Diamond Dan, one half of the Russian Assassins as well. That's his pops.
Yeah.
He sent a tweet saying, you should ask JG Pro Wrestling about his meeting The Undertaker. So we're going to start the show with this story. I think you possibly said this before, told me before, but like when we first started, I probably forgot.
Yeah, I was a little kid, definitely into wrestling. I was obsessed with wrestling as a kid, and I think it was the second time WWE or WWF had ever come to the Greensboro Coliseum, because it was traditionally a WCW building. And the main event was it was a cage match with Kane, Mankind, Austin, and Undertaker.
Damn.
It was fucking sick. Or that was supposed to be the main event, but they had to fly to New York, so their match was like second to last or something like that. But after the show, my dad and a lot of my family members worked security, so I just had to like wait for them to get off work, which kind of was convenient because after the show I got to meet like tons of wrestlers. I got to meet like D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, X-Pac, and then the Undertaker came out and he like snatched my like paper I was getting everyone to sign things on, and he was just like, who'd you cheer for? And I told him I cheered for Stone Cold that night, and then he was like, that was a mistake. And I was like a little kid, right? I was a little kid, so I went, no, it wasn't. You lost. And he just like started laughing and gave me back the paper, started walking away.
Oh no!
Yeah. No, he signed it after he signed it, but like he's definitely a big sport about it. But I was definitely like a snarky smark. Still to that, at that young age.
You know what it reminded me of? Have you seen that CM Punk? It's like when CM Punk showed up to the what's the talk show host? Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't Jimmy Kimmel's kid. It was Cousin Sal. he's a big wrestling fan, and his son is like a huge Cena fan, right?
Sure.
And then like they made it so like CM Punk basically shows up with the belt. He's like, basically the kid's like, fuck CM Punk, fuck him, And then Punk just shows up in like his wrestling trunks and his
world title.
Yeah, the world title. Like he just beat him, John Cena for it. And the kid doesn't stand down. At first, he's like, he's a kid. This guy, because his cousin Sal, he sees superstars all the time. But then it's just like his superheroes. And then you got the super villain in CM Punk, him being such a big Cena fan. And he does not back down. He's like, no, man, John Cena's the man, not you.
Yeah.
He should have beat you. Like, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, this kid. But it's funny. That's what that reminds me of.
It was totally like that. Like, I can't think of like the things I'd said back in the day. I definitely couldn't get away with now. I remember D'Lo Brown was like, you weren't the guy chanting D'Lo sucks, right? And for some reason, I liked D'Lo Brown at the time, so I was like, no, whoever says you suck, they suck. And then him and Mark Henry was like, yeah, that's right.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing about the wrestlers too. And I imagine they make like awesome fathers, because they don't, I bet they fuck with the kids, they poke at them, like not like, hey, you're a little kid, hey. They're like, hey, fuck your problem. Like, just to see if the kid will react in a way that's like, buck up. It's like, yeah, that's a good kid. Almost like the story of Laurinaitis. The place for the Rams, I think he just got cut. No, they cut Chris Long. But Laurinaitis, there's a story with Stone Cold and Animal, because his son, and their kids is in the ring like fucking around and stuff, right? And then Stone Cold walks up to Animal and goes, hey, is your kids in there? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna go fuck with him. He's like, oh, go ahead. So he has the music hit, and he walks down the ramp. All the kids that are in there playing, they clear out. Only one kid stays in there, and it's Laurinaitis' kid, like Animal's kid. And he stayed in there. Like, he said, come on, bring it on. And Stone Cold, gave him a stutter, kicked him in the gut, gave him a stutter. And he walked over to Animal and was like, hey, man, your kid's going to be something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, your kid's going to be something. So I wish I would have had the opportunity to do something like that as a kid, like to meet a wrestler. I bet that's, an experience you can't really forget,
Yeah, it's nuts to think about. Yeah, because at the time, I guess I didn't realize how like lucky and cool that was. Yeah.
Yep, your dad. I mean, yeah. Imagine like if you could go back in time now, you could just be the same age as you are now. Yeah. Hanging out with your dad. And he's like, hey, here's the Undertaker. You probably would embarrass yourself, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know what to say. I definitely wouldn't be as confident as I was as a kid. But, yeah, I guess.
And Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown. I love D'Lo. D'Lo Brown is really underappreciated, I think.
I remember, I met a few others, but I definitely remember, D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry stand out. Undertaker stands out, and then X-Pac. But all the others, I think, were like the Steve Blackmans of the world,
Mm-hmm. So, we got some news to talk about, huh? So, by the way, thanks, Papa Dan, for bringing that up to have him explain that. So, we got some news, huh?
For sure. Big things happened. Global Force Wrestling got picked up with a production company, the same production company that did American Ninja Warrior. They said they're going to, do a wrestling show. It's going to be like a brand new style of wrestling show is what I read. It's going to be shot like Hell's Kitchen is what I read as the example. So I'm not a fan of that show, but I do know that it's just like, I guess, like close-ups and like kind of like crooked angled camera.
So they're basically going to do a reality show surrounding their own talent.
I guess it's like
total global force.
No, I don't think it. Yeah, I think it is going to have matches on it, but I think like maybe backstage segments. I think like a lot of time, like TNA tried to do it for a little bit.
And it failed horribly.
Well, this is like the masters of the reality show game that are doing it, like the American Ninja Warrior, the Hell's Kitchens of the world. I know they already did a guy involved with them is already, I think, one of the guys who started Biggest Loser. So I guess they're just, Jeff Jarrett sees wrestling as a reality show platform, and that's the way it should go.
Well, I would say this, and it makes sense. Tough Enough, UFC, the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, those two, and now you look at the success of Total Divas,
Mm-hmm.
You could even bring up Breaking Ground. It's a good way to know the talent. Like
Sure.
in itself, that's what UFC basically started as a reality show to get you to know Frank Mir, to get you to know what's the guy with the mohawk?
Shit, Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. Like that was a way to say, hey, okay, here's these guys, get invested in them, and then we're gonna launch our entire brand on these people and continue to pump out fighters with this formula. It's genius.
Sure. I don't know if it's going to be a reality show, more or less. Maybe just shot like a reality show.
Oh, so you saying?
I'm just saying it's going to be shot like that, like camera angles and things like that. That seems to be the only news and the only explanation of what this show is going to be. But it is a lot of reality show people involved. I just don't know if it's going to be like a shoot interview type thing or it's just going to be shot as if it were. Because a lot of those reality shows kind of enhance the drama.
Of course they
as
do.
Well,
of course they do. So you're talking like they're going to basically take what Lucha Underground is doing a little bit in terms of like not like seeing the scene. It's just the production, the shots, the angles, give you something a little different, stand out.
Yeah, it's just
in terms of a wrestling promotion.
Sure, and the look of a reality show, a wrestling company that takes himself like a sport, but like shot like a reality show, I guess.
They just might be in a little too over their heads if they don't find the perfect way to present their product. If they're going to use this means,
sure,
you know, like it might just be a little overwhelming. I mean, it's overwhelming enough to watch Raw when the cameras is bouncing back and forth because of the impact, like watching Roman Reigns get his head beat in by Triple H and how the camera goes in and in and in and in. It's like, God damn, get a bucket. Do I need a bucket beside me?
Yeah.
Do I need to take some fucking like balance pills or some shit like that? But yeah, you hope they don't try to overwhelm you with the presentation more over than say the actual talent. That's the perfect blend between Lucha Underground. They give you something different in terms of production, but the talent is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Except from last week, that chick, the opening match with the new female wrestler they have.
What happened there?
Oh, it stunk. Apparently, it was longer than what they presented on the television. I mean, in the show, and they cut it. They cut.
Oh, the Lucha Underground.
Yeah, Lucha Underground.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Okay. Well, I don't know. And then Sinclair Broadcasting, the company that owns Ring of Honor, bought the tennis channel, which is supposed to be a big deal because apparently they might shift it to just a pure sports channel. And if you haven't noticed, like the stage of Ring of Honor has been stepping up and the camera quality has been stepping up. So they think that they're kind of gearing up Ring of Honor to then be like maybe the flagship or definitely a part of this new channel that touches just as many homes as like the USA Network and Spike TV when TNA was on it. So that's definitely a solid number 2 with Ring of Honor jumping ahead of TNA, which it's already, I think, surpassed them, but like this would definitely send them way past it, far number 2 if they do something like this. And that's a big deal for Ring of Honor. So we have a lot of new like maybe potential TV shows coming up for wrestling. And
we'll see. I mean,
we have
it's good for ROH. I mean, you get a lot of people complain. I don't have a problem with how Ring of Honor was shot prior. I think it was its own thing, very much like New Japan. If they bring the quality up, so be it. If there was one change, I would like for them to move the. I hope they make more space between the ring and the announcers. I don't like that announcer right at the edge of the ring.
Yeah?
I hate that. I hate it because it takes out a side of the ring. It's not like you can do. It's like an entire part of a ring. You really just cancel out.
Sure. I don't know. It just reminds me of WCW. So like, I never really had a problem with it.
Like right up on the table.
Yeah, like that's how they did like old WCW. Like I can, when it was all blue and everything for the Saturday night. That's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it reminds me of and everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind where they put the table.
No, just a little distance, like over to the side, like not right on it. I wish the wrestlers could be able to use the entire ring instead of like.
Well, I think that I haven't noticed. I guess I'll start looking for it, but I haven't noticed them like not going to that corner at all?
They never go to that corner. I mean, they do sometime, but like almost next to never.
Yeah,
next to never.
Damn.
But and it's basically, I mean, it is also like the babyface tag team side.
Yeah.
So when they do tag teams, they actually use the other side of the ring.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I never thought about it. I'm going to have to watch. I'm going to have to watch a little more closely. Did you watch the 14th anniversary at all or get a chance
Not yet, dude. Not yet.
I tried to find means to it, and the only thing I could find was pretty like choppy and everything. So not yet either. If you guys have a link or anything, let me know. JG Pro Wrestling.
You can go to they're probably Sparrow. I mean, if you're likely to do torrents, there's a guy I always get my pay-per-views when I try to do my reactions. Mm-hmm. Sparrow is the guy to look for who does all of that stuff.
Nice.
Whether it's New Japan, TNA.
Hopefully, they're not putting them on blast here.
No. I mean, I think all 6 of you guys are completely fine with knowing who to find your fucking torrents from, or you already know. But I know I can get it there. Any and everything I can get from like Kick-Ass torrents or like.
That's cool. And we're 5 weeks away from WrestleMania. It's
yes,
definitely
we are.
Definitely a WrestleMania.
4 weeks.
Well, 4 weeks, but yeah, like we're reviewing 5 Raws up into going into it. We're gonna do a new segment. I thought like going into like 5 weeks into Mania, where we're gonna count down. Maybe not count down per se from 5 to 1, but just like our top 5 personal favorite WrestleMania moments. We talked a little bit about it. We thought it was a good idea. I know yours, Peter, but what's your?
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you guys definitely a heads up on the fact that like, if you're looking for obscurity here, out of my picks, then may as well just skip and then tune into Jake's. Mine are very, very. I wouldn't say they're surface. They're very surface. As a kid, I watched a lot of WCW. Again, I watched a lot of WCW, so there's a lot of not WrestleCade, but Starrcade I could probably tell you about, and some other things from the WCW, and some WWE. But then as a kid, and I did watch a WWE and WrestleManias, there were the big spots that everyone talks about. But what order do those things fall in? And then there was this huge gap where I didn't watch wrestling, so it's not like I'm going to pull something out those places where I sound like a hypocrite saying that, oh yeah, I really like this. I'm gonna talk about the stuff that I watched as a kid that people talk about even to today, and then the more recent pay-per-views. And I like to kick off my favorite moment of WrestleMania was, I would say, I'm just going to put it out there, last year WrestleMania 31, the end of the main event of Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns and the cash in by Seth Rollins. I watched that match today before you showed up, and it was a great. The match itself isn't like it was like this great in ring or out ring work, but the suspense of this fucking match was amazing. Like just to go over it, like like. Front to back, Roman Reigns not getting a lot of offense in, laughing at the beatdown he's getting from Brock Lesnar. We get the comeback by Roman Reigns. We get the F5 by Brock Lesnar before you hear and I watched it again. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
My fucking I got goosebumps watching it today. And he comes out, man, and he fucking he takes out Roman Reigns. He hits Brock Lesnar with a fucking curb stomp. He goes for a second curb stomp, gets set up in an F5. Brock Lesnar gets speared by Roman Reigns. Rollins falls off. He gears off and just curb stomps the living shit out of Roman Reigns, who's already taken 4 F5s. 1, 2, 3 victory. He grabs that belt and he hauls ass up that ramp and he just stands there with that belt, man. And it's like, when we see that comeback from Roman Reigns, we are like, and fucking like, oh no, oh no, fuck this sucks. And then this happens, man. I would say, I would imagine anybody who's watched WrestleMania and they can say one of their top 10 or top 5 moments, we doing our top 5. I'd imagine any wrestling fan would put this in their top 5 somewhere because it's never been done before. A cash in at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. You look at the people in place. Roman Reigns, he's getting booed. He's placed to be the chosen one. Brock Lesnar, who's back as the Beast. He fucking ended the Undertaker streak. He's the number one. He's the WWE champ. He's got all the cards. He just signed with WWE that night, that week, and then you take the young upstart in Seth Rollins after he's been defected from the Shield and just kind of doing any and everything he does. That we know as Seth Rollins as a Money in the Bank winner, and he goes in, and it was just pure. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
he just coming off of a loss too. Off of one of the greatest RKOs you ever see. So he ran out full of piss and vinegar and stole the show. Not only did he steal the belt, he stole the show.
Yeah, that was a great moment. And just to have it last year, yeah, it was amazing. I can't imagine an angle playing out that well on any of the other Manias. Or I can't remember an angle playing out that well on any of the other WrestleManias. So that was great. Definitely these last 2 Manias I think have been pretty good. This one's got a lot to live up to.
Oh, you mean the Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, the Daniel Bryan, and between the Daniel Bryan and between the cash-in last year, I think this next one has a lot to live up to.
Yeah, but the suspense, knowing that Daniel Bryan was going to go in and win, the suspense was gone. I had no idea about this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
They slid. Good for 2 different reasons.
Yeah, they slid that one by everybody. Very similar to the Shane McMahon return. So what's your number 5?
Mine's kind of an odd one. It's from the WrestleMania 12, 1996 one, Hollywood Backlot Brawl with Roddy Piper and Goldust. I just remember this is I think I was trying to come back to the very first WrestleMania I remember as a kid watching, and this was the very first memory I have of Mania. I know I've probably watched others, but this was when I was old enough to I guess have recollection of wrestling and stuff like that, and this was awesome. They I watched it again today. They fight in the parking lot. A bunch of people watching them. Roddy Piper gets hit by a car. They jump in a Bronco.
Yeah.
So they do the whole OJ thing. They go into the ring and everything, and pretty much what happens is Roddy Piper pulls off Goldust's singlet to reveal that he was wearing lingerie. It was a ridiculous thing. I can't remember. I remember that, but I remember this match vividly, in my head. But then I don't have an actual recollection of watching Shawn versus Brett that same night. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a weird thing. I was gonna say like you said, everyone remembers the cash in, but sometimes it's all these little matches of these weird things that make you remember something. So that's my top 5, or my 5th out of my 5. Yeah. So if you remember that and you like it. Cool.
Yeah, it was before we started recording. That was one of the things I brought up is Roddy Piper doesn't have much of a wrestling legacy as much as he has as a personality. And whenever people talk about Roddy Piper matches, 9 times out of 10, the first one that's going to pop up is Roddy Piper versus Goldust in Street Fight. So,
hell yeah,
it's a good one. I guess before we go into Raw, we hit a bit of a roadblock on our way to WrestleMania. But before I mention that, I want to give a big shout out to Justin Bird. If you're out there listening, what up, dog? We'll get to talk. His Twitter account is TheTrueJSB. He is a loyal fan of the show.
Nice.
So I just wanted to give him a shout out. So I guess it kind of can blend into the opening of the show, honestly. I mean, they got this thing called Roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know it's called Roadblock until the challenge that was issued was approved by Triple H. This is Dean Ambrose wanting a shot at the belt. And we got this thing Roadblock, which is basically a glorified house show. But it's going to become a WWE Network exclusive. My only thing with this is, and I guess going into it, the card so far that we know is Roman Reigns versus Sheamus. And I think the Big Show and Kevin Owens will fight as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw a Divas match on there.
Sure. Have you seen the Big Show and Kevin Owens match? You saw that on the website?
I assume because it's one of their hotter feuds right now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, one of the bigger storylines, like really developing. And I think we'll probably get like maybe a rematch of the New Day and Styles and AJ. By the way, do you call them Are you gonna call them what is it?
Y2AJ?
Yeah.
It might be too convenient to not use at times, especially if we're talking about like a full match or a full wrestling card. But I do think it's very, very cheesy. I think it's kind of like when Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes got married, they did like the Tomcat, and ever since that, it's just been like Brad Jelena, Kim Ye, and it spilled over to wrestling tag team somehow. And I'm tired of this trend. But
I'm really tired of it.
This one might be.
It's a stinker.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
PU.
But as far as Roadblock, I don't know. This main event seems a little odd to me because you definitely don't want to have. I mean, if you want to do it, I'm sure, but I think you need to keep these key matches in place. So you don't want to have Dean win because then you just have the match you would have at Fastlane, which has already happened, and it would just be odd to have that. But then if you have Triple H win, then Dean looks pretty bad for going up against Brock. So I think you would have to have a run-in from Brock somehow in this match to keep everyone looking strong going into Mania. It's a very odd time to have some kind of special like this. I think they should just have all systems go to Mania. But
I think it's a stab at more subscribers right before WrestleMania.
Yeah, sure. I can see that. But I'm just worried about them making Dean look weak going into Mania because I think that's the most organically hot feud. I think Triple H and Roman's kind of given shoved down our throats. Taker and Shane's kind of like, what the fuck is this? But I think the Brock and Dean is kind of like, good feud, like who's going to win, street fight type of thing.
But Brock's not going to be around. That's the only thing. How do you bide Dean Ambrose time until Brock Lesnar shows up for the go home show to WrestleMania? Like, how do we bide his time? Like, that's the only reason why I see something like this happen. But my only problem is this, and very much like, how do I say this? Any and all things that happened within the past 2 months, whether it's the Royal Rumble and Triple H throwing out Dean Ambrose, to Dean Ambrose losing in a triple threat match at Fastlane, don't you think he dropped the ball twice? Dean Ambrose.
No, I think
he dropped the ball.
I would say, as far as storyline purposes, sure. But as far as if you watch, he's getting cheered more than Roman Reigns.
I know, I understand that. I'm being totally kayfabing right now.
Yeah, sure,
a motherfucker. That Royal Rumble didn't mean shit. That triple threat didn't mean a goddamn thing. Mm-hmm. Knowing that right now, at this moment in time, this guy still gets a title shot.
Well, if you watch the last segment of Raw, it seems like they kind of he just frustrated Triple H to the point where he just gave it to him because he wanted to whoop his ass, and then kind of at the end he was like thanks, so he kind of outsmarted him. I think.
Yeah, Triple H. Wait a minute.
Do you want to just talk about the?
Let's go ahead.
Right to the main event or the main segment of Raw.
So let me get this straight, right? Well, we can start with the opening, right?
Let's just run this main storyline down. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because it ties into Roadblock. What a fitting name for this thing that's just right in the middle of Mania season. Roadblock.
Yeah, the road to WrestleMania. Here's the fast lane, and here's the roadblock.
Yeah.
I have one. I said, how about you go ahead and have a special sign up by the name of Joey Ryan, and we call it Cock Block. Right? Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Well, he will be at WrestleCade.
Balls of Fury. Did you see that shit with him and his wife?
Oh, where he
proposes
her, then he rolled her up.
Yeah, it was a distraction.
It was a distraction. Yeah,
proposal roll.
I didn't think much of it until the roll up, and then I loved it. So
yeah,
it was good. I mean, between that and the dong punch, he doesn't need the WWE. He's just gonna keep getting big online.
Well, anyway, this first segment, 20 minutes, man. It was a 20 fucking, like, last week was, I think it ended up being like 27 minutes, the opening segment. And then this was 20. And plus, before we even go any further, this show itself, did you like it?
I mean, it was coming off of last week, so it did feel pretty weak. But I think it was a okay show.
It was a
Okay.
as I heard
85. You know,
it was a utility show. It was definitely a utility show. Nothing really moved, but you got more perspective on one side of the fence. And today's fence, that side of the spectrum was the McMahon Helmsley regime.
Sure.
The opening segment was Triple H. The second hour was Stephanie McMahon. The third hour was Vince McMahon, and then the closing was Triple H again. So let's talk about and not us talk, but like the show itself was saying, hey man, let's talk about the whole McMahon family feud, and that's basically I almost put to a certain degree that that's a bigger money storyline than say even the World Heavyweight Championship between Triple H and Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could. Yeah, but do you want to do the?
Yeah. No. I mean, I was just giving like just a quick overview of I thought the theme of the show sort of based around.
Sure, yeah, and to keep up with like what we think with the roadblock and everything, Triple H comes out, pretty much cuts a promo, says Roman should know his place and the people should know their place for, pretty much, cuts a heel promo, dickhead heel promo. Dean comes out, big pop in Nashville. He kind of just pretty much says he's pissed at Triple H, and Triple H, he wants a shot at the title, and Triple H says like he's going to put him up in a match against Alberto Del Rio later on tonight, but and he'll give him his answer.
Well, he wasn't pissed at him. If anything, it started off with him saying that Roman sent me by to say hi. He was a messenger for Roman Reigns, and that's one of the first things that Triple H brings up. He's like, "Oh, look, it's Dean Ambrose." In light of the Oscars, the best supporting actor in the bromance.
Yeah.
Like Triple H's snarky way, he's the snarkiest son of a bitch. I think he digs at guys that I feel like he digs into guys in the ways that I feel like he shouldn't at times.
Oh, most definitely. He's definitely got the rap for doing that. Well reserved. I think he's a
bastard, just like fucking Heartbreak Kid. What he did to Seth Rollins, man, was just uncalled for.
Well, what Shawn Michaels did to Seth Rollins?
Yeah, you remember that?
No, what happened?
Well,
like months ago?
Yeah.
Well,
and Shawn Michaels cut his ass down to size. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, well, I mean, Triple H has made a career of that because, I mean, on the come up, he had to definitely rely on, like, Shawn Michaels and then, like, the New Age Outlaws and everyone else being over that just kind of got put with him. And then once all those other people retired, he was just stuck there, and he had no one else to get the rub from. So he had to just like completely shit on guys. I don't like Triple H.
Yeah. So this whole thing was okay. You got the cerebral fucking assassin getting basically punked down. He's getting outwitted by the lunatic French, which I think it's the other way around. It's like, how the hell? I could see him outsmarting Brock. Brock's a dummy. Brock's a dumbass. He doesn't talk. He's a dumbass. He's a big bear that just wants to fight. He doesn't give a fuck who he fights. He just wants to fight. He's a mercenary. I don't care. But the cerebral assassin is someone who should be not only... he's the game.
Well, I mean, we're going to see frustration with that for sure. Like,
man, but it just doesn't really match it doesn't match the character. To me, it does not at all match the character. He has thicker skin in character, to me. Why break it now by someone who's actually been looking real stupid over the past year in Dean Ambrose and putting themselves in predicaments during matches where he lets his fucking he lets his brain get the best of him to why he loses matches, like the fucking television, like a couple of other things that he's done that just like he makes him look dumb. So all of a sudden, he can outwit and outpunk out the fucking cerebral fucking assassin. Right here, he's like, you can't beat me. You know you can't beat me. You didn't want to face who? You didn't want me to win that triple threat. You didn't want me to win that fucking, you didn't want me to win that triple threat because you can't beat me. You can't beat me. And that's what he did. And like, Triple H is like, whatever, bro. I might give you that challenge, but I was going to give you a night off. You're going to face fucking, was it Alberto?
Yeah, Alberto Del Rio in the main event. So yeah, you kind of saw the frustration there, and then toward the match was a pretty good match. Dean wins, but then like Triple H comes out. Oh no, Dean doesn't win. Triple H comes out six the League of Nations on Dean. They all beat him up. Triple H beats him up. The best part of Raw, I think, happened at this segment where Triple H just threw Baron Saxton. And Michael Cole just calls it. He goes, Saxton goes flying, just like you would any other kind of move. Like, no, that's your partner, man. You're supposed to be a little upset. I just thought that was funny. The GIF and all the Vine videos of Saxton flying was pretty hilarious.
That's so wild to me. So
and then they're beating. Triple H.
The border stomp though. We can't go any further by him basically getting border stomp on the barricade.
Yeah.
The first time he tried to do the border stomp on him, the Tree of Woe stomp, he actually reversed it into a little roll-up thing. But then when it got turned basically into a brawl, the ADR hit him with the border stomp on the fucking barricade.
Yeah, Rusev was
and I just get so fucking sick of that move because it's one thing, right, to just get up there and have, boom. But he's been leaving guys high and dry, just holding on to shit like he's fucking, like last week, Kylo Ren. He has to force to make these motherfuckers just stay there and wait for someone to step on him. And to watch Dean Ambrose have to fucking sit there for like 15 seconds while Alberto Del Rio fucking powders his nose and drinks a mocha to finally give him the border stomp. They need to get rid of that fucking move altogether if he's going to leave guys like that high and dry. I'm sick of it. He did it to Kalisto 3 weeks ago on the rope.
Yeah.
Mid rope. It's just whatever, dude. But, come to find out that it was all a ruse. This really wasn't a match in the first place.
Yeah, Triple H just kind of set up Dean Ambrose. Looking strong for a second week. I thought for sure.
Shake hands. He shakes their hands.
I thought for sure Roman Reigns was going to come out and save him, and then that he would get his credibility back after getting his ass kicked by Triple H 2 weeks ago. But that didn't happen. Triple H just kind of beat up Dean, gave him the match at gave him the match. They didn't say at Roadblock. Now we know it's Roadblock. And then as Triple H is walking back doing his little snarl, Dean just goes thanks, and that pisses him off. He comes back and whoops his ass more. So Triple H, yes, he's the champion, but he's he's looking strong 2 weeks in a row. No Roman, you can't really say they're like shoving him down.
Well, here's the difference between Roman Reigns, Triple H ending, and a Dean Ambrose ending. No one likes Roman Reigns. So as he's getting pedigreed and fucking stomped out and blood is rolling down the fist and the arms of Triple H, the crowd is screaming, yes, but one more time, sure, right? So then this one, go ahead.
I was going to say in Detroit, Nashville is like more of a traditional crowd. I think that they're just as into it. They don't do chants and things, but if you saw they're standing up, they're interested in what was going on. I think that would have been the only crowd. This would have been the only crowd going into Mania that would have probably cheered Reigns. You're going into Chicago next week. He's going to get the boot out of the building, and then you're going into New York too.
The last time that Roman Reigns was in Nashville, he got a big. It was part of that. It was right after Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and it was like this. Oh my God, he's finally coming around. But that's the thing. Maybe that was the case, but if you're looking at Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose is definitely the crowd favorite. He's more of a favorite in terms of babyface than anyone on the roster outside of, say, who would even be even close to charitable babyface right now for the company.
Like, comparatively speaking to Dean Ambrose?
Yeah. That would even
I
come
would
close.
say he's the top babyface.
Yeah.
Other than, I mean, Brock, people cheer for Brock, but
Brock,
he's supposed to be a heel, you know? I mean,
so you'd have to
look into guys who are injured, John Cena.
So this guy is a pure babyface because, and I don't even say, and I'm not gonna say Nashville. This could be in Chicago. This could be in Philadelphia. This could be in Brooklyn. That's the road to WrestleMania. I think everyone would have looked at Dean Ambrose as a sympathetic figure.
Sure.
And then the other way around, Roman Reigns like, no, fuck you, man. We ain't about to do it. We not gonna be able to do it.
Oh no, but I'm saying this was a mistake to not bring him out in front of this crowd because.
But he's really fucked up. Like,
yeah, apparently he had to have surgery and everything like that.
What do they call it? Something like he actually had a sinus issue that he actually had surgery put on.
Yeah.
So I don't think even taking a fake punch to the face would have been a good idea.
Sure, yeah, I was unaware. It's just a shame that that's kind of what happened. So, like, you got Triple H looking good for 2 weeks in a row.
He got his heel heat back, though.
Yeah, I mean...
They used Dean Ambrose to get his heel heat.
Did you know they had to, they pumped in booze because he was getting cheered on SmackDown?
Who was?
Triple H.
Well, SmackDown is taped. They can in noise.
That's what I just said. Yeah, they piped in, canned in. They piped in booze over top of people cheering for Triple H on SmackDown.
On SmackDown, yeah, I'd imagine. I could see that happen. I thought you would say that happened on Raw.
No.
But yeah, Dean Ambrose, poor Dean Ambrose. For him to be used the way he's being used, just to basically like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't have Triple H beat him. You can't have a clean finish at this roadblock thing. Or you would make one of your Mania matches look really, really weak. You have to have either Roman come out or Brock come out or all hell break loose. If you have a clean finish, that's going to ruin a match.
This guy. We're talking about two people right here. Two people. They didn't have a problem tossing his bitch ass out of the Royal Rumble. They didn't have a problem him taking a pin at Fastlane. They damn sure ain't gonna have a problem at a what is call it, like a WWE exclusive event of all things, that he's going down in flames to Triple H, and he's going against Triple H. So regardless of him looking weak or not, I think he can look defeated. But the other side of the coin about the Dean Ambrose character is like, because he's getting his ass whooped more than anybody. If you're looking at really what's going on with his character over the past 6 months, he's just been having his ass whooped, and even more so now that he's fucking with fucking Brock Lesnar, right? He's the Iron Man. I keep a lick and keep on ticking. That's the story. So if he goes under, he does the job. I think it would help his cause. I think he will go into WrestleMania in flames with the crowd behind him. Brock Lesnar will be a fucking heel. They will boo his ass just to see, come on, Dean Ambrose. You can do this. I swear to God. If he loses to Triple H, because it's one thing to watch.
Well, then why would he be a threat if he's losing to Triple H? Triple H is an old man, not UFC fighter. Brock Lesnar is this crazy ass beast. If you lose to Triple H, you're gonna lose to Brock. That's like the fans' eyes.
Who else has beaten Brock Lesnar over the past 2 years, 3 years?
You're gonna say Triple H?
Yes.
But this is a different. Once they re-signed him, he had the belt. He's left. He's done tons of things. I mean, I was gonna.
If there's one person that goes
but Brock,
over,
I mean, that was a feud. Brock beat Triple H too.
One thing. This is him fresh off the UFC too. Like, this is like him back from the UFC, right? And Triple H just had to beat him. After Cena beat him.
That ruined it. Yeah, that was bad. I'm saying those were all bad booking. If you can compare a future bad booking decision to a past bad booking. That's all bad. Triple H is not.
It's called Triple H.
Yeah.
No, that could have never happened to
anyone else. If you look at once they gave Triple H the belt and they kept giving him the belt, since the Attitude Era, we've just been going like this, and that's because of booking that you're talking about.
Triple H got to go over. I'm fucking going over.
Yeah,
like that's the Triple H.
That's sure. That's going to happen, sure. But I'm talking about should and should not. This should not happen. This match should not happen unless they have a Brock run-in or a Roman Reigns run-in or something like that.
Well, what I mentioned earlier, it shouldn't happen because Dean Ambrose don't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it.
Sure.
But if he does lose, you're right. But if he did lose, I'm not losing hope on the idea of him going into WrestleMania, probably the biggest babyface on the card, because he just got screwed. Now, if I doubt if he loses clean, but he's going to lose, and he's going to be screwed over, and he's fucking not going to be able to take it. And his whole thing is like, fuck it, I got a no holds barred street fight to let out all my fucking frustration on the biggest, baddest man on the planet. You're going down, Brock. I'm taking all of my frustration out on you, right? And he's going to get his ass handed to him. He'll get some low blows in and probably hit somebody with a fucking monitor. Maybe get like a fucking bottle rocket shot at him somehow. Like, something crazy, you know? I can see him hitting Brock Lesnar with a car. Like, I see the craziest shit happening. And the crowd is going to fucking lose its mind. Like, I don't know. What the card looking like so far? What we got?
Mania?
That's even worth cheering for a babyface outside of, say, what they're going to do with AJ Styles.
Oh, I mean, that's all speculation. It's just the 3 matches so far. And probably, just 3 matches set in place. Brock, Dean, Shane, Taker, Roman, Triple H. So, yeah, out of all those, I mean...
Dean,
yeah.
Oh, my God. It's gonna be madness.
But I think you get that reaction having Brock Lesnar beat him down. You don't get that reaction having Brock and other people beat him down.
No, I'm saying he's gonna get beat down and he's gonna retaliate every once in a while, get some really good licks in. But I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, but going back to the point, this match should not happen. Triple H versus Dean Ambrose. It's gonna make
dumb.
This
whole roadblock shit is stupid.
Yeah. But the rest of Raw, though, I think the body of Raw, I think it compared to the average Raw, I think it was an average Raw. It was a good Raw.
He beat his ass and then gives him the fucking thing. I mean, what's up with Dean Ambrose? And that's the same thing that happened with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. He steps on his fucking head.
Yeah,
and he comes back and he goes, hey, challenge accepted. So what? He has this crazy ability to get a beat down and to get what he wants.
I guess so, yeah.
Because if I whoop their ass, I'm not giving you what you want. You wanted an ass whooping is what you wanted.
I guess, yeah, the heels are getting frustrated. I don't know.
They're the thinnest fucking skin motherfuckers. We're talking the cerebral assassin. Now, regardless if this guy is a better quote-unquote wrestler than Dean Ambrose and he has way more background, he's still the cerebral assassin. He shouldn't let some fucking doof look at me, I'm crazy, sucker him into a fucking title match that he doesn't deserve. The fuck? I just find the irony. It's just, I get it in his storyline, but it's just, the irony is just too crazy for me to even fathom. It's too crazy for me to fathom.
Word, yeah, I guess. But going into the body of Raw, the first match was Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks with Rick and Charlotte Flair on ringside. Winner gets a shot at the Divas Championship at WrestleMania. It was a little, solid little match. They didn't really get a whole lot of time, but at the end, Sasha Banks does a flip over powerbomb in the corner, but the way she just fell back from exhaustion, so then all 4 shoulders were down.
She got beat in the head before she came down.
Yeah, passed out. But then it was a way where it was an inconclusive finish. This happened last week on NXT. Happened 3 weeks ago on NXT, and then it happens here. So it's a bit of an overplay of this gimmick, but I do like the gimmick generally of how they do it.
There was 3 things. There were 3 deja vu moments in this episode of Raw. And I'm like, damn, are they really doing this? Are they really going to do this? And this was one of them. And the first thing I saw, I was like, holy fuck, they're really going to emulate what's happening on NXT. Yeah. Are you really going to do that? And I think the same thing happened on Ring of Honor just recently.
Oh, yeah?
A double, I think it was a double pin. Who? I can't really think of who it was, but I'm like, dude, it's just like the flavor of the month. You know how sometimes like you get these fucking things where it's like, oh yeah, this person holds both belts, you know, and then like it happens in WWE, it happens in TNA, it happens in fucking ROH and shit, and I just go like, what the fuck is happening? Why is the planets aligning doing this one thing?
Sure.
NXT leading the group right now, I find it kind of interesting.
Yeah, especially if these ladies, like, they have a lot of their fan base through what they've done in NXT. So you're assuming that the people that are interested in this match watch NXT. And so...
Oh, no, don't watch NXT.
No, do. The people that are interested in Sasha Banks versus Becky are predominantly people that watch NXT. Mm-hmm. Because that's where they got a lot of their notoriety from.
Oh, but the finish is like, well, you don't watch it. For them to pull that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying so you know that the fan base of this show, or this match particularly, seen this finish this week on your programming. It's very questioning, but I do like...
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's the opposite way around, where I think they're assuming that these people aren't watching NXT.
Yeah, which is odd. Yeah, I don't think that fits. I don't understand why you would assume, especially in this match, that people don't watch NXT.
You watch the show, it's WWE. They're fucking idiots.
But I do like, this is just a little blip. I do generally like this angle where you can't really tell, leading into a three-way. The three women that got moved up this summer wrestling for the title at Mania.
It just goes to show how depleted that roster is. They got to stretch this out the best way they can, though, you know? It's only 3 women on seriously, the women's wrestling roster of the WWE is like, it's Naomi, it's Banks, and it's Lynch and Flair. That's it.
Natty, Paige.
No. I said the wrestling core.
Yeah, I would mention those ladies in that.
No, but not recently. Not going there. I'm talking the road to WrestleMania. Like what they have right now, 4 fucking ladies that are trying to. That.
Do you think Naomi's gonna be in this match?
No, but she's been wrestling more than Natty. She's been wrestling more than Paige.
Sure.
Way more storyline with her and dealing with Banks and Lynch. You know, so it just goes to show that it is a very depleted roster as much as the male roster, and I'm not surprised that they pulled something like this to stretch out the feud. But they have a long way to go, man. Like 4 weeks. They got 4 weeks, and they already got another fucking tonight. They're recording tonight. The rematch!
Oh, well, I think it's going to be another inconclusive thing. I think it's going to spill over to a segment next week on Raw, and then you get maybe another match, and then you get the contract signed. You can easily do it, but...
Maybe a roadblock, too, by the way.
Maybe.
But here's the thing about this match I wanted to mention. This match, you said it was not that long. I thought it was I think it was long enough, but they tried to blow themselves up right from the fucking get-go. I was sitting back going, oh my God, like... calm the fuck down, girls. It's gonna be okay. Like,
no, go fast.
No.
Don't. That whole Triple H school of thought where you bring everything down, you get a bunch of Baron Corbins. Go quick, bust your ass.
No. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to blow yourself up because, to a certain degree, they definitely still get in their high spots, right? And you don't want to be that tired by the time when they did that whole spot on the top buckle. I was actually concerned that they were tired.
But that was the whole gimmick, though, is that they both passed out.
No. Breaking kayfabe here. I'm talking about health here. The last thing you need is 2 exhausted women on a top buckle. That's all I'm saying. And, you know, you look at the Iron Woman match with Bayley and Banks and stuff, and that, you know, that you look at, what is it? The missed Hurricane Rana in Brooklyn, which almost breaks her fucking neck. Which one is that? Yeah, which almost breaks her neck. And then the return of it, and the Iron Woman match. And I just go like, dude, like just I get it. But like don't put your fucking neck on the line on something free, at least in this case. This is Raw. This is Monday Night Raw. This ain't it ain't even Roadblock. You know? So, like, that's all I'm saying. When they went out there and they fucking just went at it, it was like, seriously, it was like Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero. You know? I just go, you going in too strong. You're going to be given 7 to 8 minutes. Like, just tone it down a notch. We're going to love the match regardless. Give me some suspense. Give me something to sink my teeth into in terms of storyline versus y'all just going at it. We've seen y'all go at it. there's a storyline here. Who can get the title? And what it was at first was, like quick pins and reversal of submissions. I get it. But man, they still had a long way to go. And I was like, man, these girls are blowing up. And it got kind of sloppy right before that finish. And I'm glad the finish happened safely. I'm glad it worked, right? There wasn't like a shadow of a doubt like to Sami Zayn. It didn't look like his shoulder was all the way down to get that double count. Mm-hmm. But this one's conclusive. Both shoulders were down. Kudos. But I wish there was interaction between somebody, say this is where Regal would come in. Mm-hmm. Right? Or that's what it was. It was on ROH. The same thing happened on ROH, and Nigel McGuinness came out mm-hmm. and made a judgment of what was going to happen. And that was the only thing that was missing. It was just like, okay, Ric Flair, who doesn't really need to be out there to watch the match, they just get up and walk out. They just walk out. Like, okay, they both lose. Peace.
Yeah, I guess I guess they're playing the arrogant heels where they're assuming that there isn't going to be a match of Mania. But I mean, I thought the match was a little good. I'm never going to complain about work as hard as you can for me, the person trying to be entertained by it. So yeah, you're supposed to try to keep up, bust your ass every time.
That's why there's so many goddamn injuries on the roster. People like you.
People like me.
Like you. You people.
Well, I mean, set yourself apart. I've seen a lot of stuff. You got to bring something new every time. Go as quick as possible.
And injure yourself on free television.
There's a reason we're paying you, man. If tons of people in the world don't want to be injured, these are people that want to be pro wrestlers. They know the risk. And to be the best, you got to move up. That's why these ladies, high work rate is why people like these women. If you bring it down all of a sudden, now that they have a storyline.
I didn't say bring it down. I just said pace yourself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, bring it down. Yeah, bring it down. It's the same.
Pace yourself. Are you going to run? Are you going to sprint a mile? Are you going to sprint a mile?
Okay. That's what it's just. We're getting caught up in terminologies here. Bringing it down, slowing down the pace. What you mean? Yeah, slowing it down is what you're saying. Bring it down. That's what you mean. And I think that's the WWE mentality for years, and that's how they've gotten really shitty matches. And people like the punch kick slaps of the world. And the John Cena matches is how we're at where we're at. We need to have new styles in, and I think that these ladies have proven themselves with this new style, and that's how they have the notoriety that they have to get in the positions that they are in.
Did I say Chinlock City? I didn't say go Chinlock City. I just said you went in your first minute and you damn near blew up. That's all I'm saying. You can pace it out. I'm not going to sprint a mile. I'm going to fucking pace myself and make sure that I cross the finish line.
Well, then you'll be beat by the person who does sprint the mile.
But I'm not going to jog either.
Well,
have you ran a mile? Aren't you a track and field guy?
Yeah.
You're a track guy.
Yeah.
What's your fastest mile?
420 something.
420 something? It would be, wouldn't it?
Fitting enough.
No, right? Mine is a 503.
There you go.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like I fucking sprinted that motherfucker. But I look back at it. What's your fastest 3K? 5K? Sorry.
5K? I don't remember. But
what?
I would say in mid-16s.
Mid-16s?
Yeah, I was real slow.
You're kicking ass.
High 16s.
High 16s are still pretty badass. I mean, my best time,
though. You have to.
My best time is 18:03. Like my two best times are 03. 18:03, and I was like, oh my god, the Olympics, let's do this. Our best runner was doing 16:15, right?
Word.
Montreal, but I'm just saying, you know what it is. You know what point I'm making is. Don't get it twisted, saying I'm asking them to go Kelly and shit on the motherfucker. I'm not asking
I think you're saying slow it down, like the WWE style, go slow, don't do as many moves.
I didn't say that. I said pace yourself. Don't blow yourself up before the match is even, midway.
Right as Charlotte was going to the back, we went right into a Bray promo. I kind of like how they did that, but really? How they cut right into it. Yeah, but not the promo itself. I can't repeat a word that he said.
I don't. But for what?
Yeah, he's sinking with this Mania roster coming out and all the matches coming out, and it doesn't look like they have any spots for him. If we see these guys in the Battle Royal, especially Bray and Strowman, and I mean even Harper to an extent, like these guys are better than that. And this group is better than that. Like the gimmick and everything, you know, like they've really dropped the ball with Bray.
Well, we know this. This street fight is no holds barred. I mean, if Ambrose goes over, it's because of the Bray Wyatt. And I think, you know, they're trying to slide in through the cracks because they're thinking that, oh yeah, we're going to separate him so far from what we actually had initially done with him in the Royal Rumble. Like, no, I don't think it's done. I think what happens during the Dean Ambrose match and why he wins and why he loses Triple H is that they set, because normally, what's after WrestleMania?
I think it was called Backlash. I think it's called something else now. But yeah, that...
It's like probably...
Is it Payback? Is that what it's called?
No, it's not Payback. It's the one before Payback. It's not Extreme Rules. Over the Limit.
Yeah.
Over the Limit is basically WrestleMania Part 2. And it'll probably be the same card going into that, but the only one that's different is going to be Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar. I really feel like that's what's going to happen. They're going to come out during that street brawl, interfere, and like they're going to tease. They're going to drop lines every time the tease, because you know how that happens. Like they did that last year with Undertaker, right? Mm-hmm. Like he did that with Undertaker, you know, and he did
a little teasing.
Yeah, even with Ryback. A couple of months back, it's like, oh yeah, this is why we're focused on these clues, and you're thinking, I guess it'll sum up at some point, but they're going after Brock Lesnar. I don't think they ever bailed out of it. I just think they wanted to put Dean Ambrose in a high spot over Bray Wyatt because he's been given back big spots.
Yeah, from a company perspective, Cena, Taker, where Dean's been more of a focal point of the television, but hasn't really had a big Mania match yet.
Has he even been? He was in the
IC tag, which I mean that was a big match, but I mean you know you can definitely get lost within the shuffle of like 6 guys, and then he had some matches with the Shield and everything. But moving forward, we go into Peter's favorite.
Let me do
Peter's favorite match of the night.
I would say this is Deja Vu Part 2.
I saw this happen, and I was just like, this is Peter's favorite match of the night.
This is no. I would the fact that it turned out the way it did 2 weeks ago. You remember Paige versus Summer Rae?
Yeah.
This is basically it was this. You got Paige, you got Summer Rae last week, 2 weeks ago, getting the jobber intro. Paige comes out, it's like, oh sweet, Paige. You know, she walks out to give her, you know, everything. The match lasts a good minute and a half, and unsuspectedly, Summer Rae, who gets the jobber intro, gets to roll up pin over Paige.
Yeah,
and it goes unexplained. And this is the same thing. Now, again, how many times have we seen Miz and
Dolph Ziggler? They work real well together.
They work amazing together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, well, shit. But what's been happening with the Miz though too is that he's been on as much of a role in terms of getting in spots, not necessarily winning matches, but sort of easing his way into like important sort of things and showing himself. You know, you look at what he did with AJ, that was such a great match, but it's not like the last thing that he's ever done, you know, over the past, say, couple of months that were impressive. The guy himself, I mean, The Miz, you call it what you want. I think he's a great performer. I think his in-ring is not as good as his personality, but I think there's enough give and take to where you go, man, this guy is a little more complete than your average worker on the roster today. And for him to get that victory is no different than, say, the success right now, ring-wise, of the League of Nations. They've been getting wins. The League of Jobbers, my ass. and this right here, it just reminded me too much of the whole, you know, Summer Rae Paige. Just like when Miz.
I didn't think about that. That's a great comparison. I was wondering, is this like showing you that Ziggler's in the doghouse, or are they going to do something with Miz? I mean, he did have, you know, the WrestleMania main event, are they gonna like do a little storyline with him?
Well, Ziggler won a match not too long ago pretty clean over somebody. I can't remember on SmackDown, but I'm like, okay, they're gonna give him some wins.
So you think it's? I think I could see a Miz Kalisto feud for the U.S. title going into Mania, maybe a Mania pre-show or something like that.
That'd be fun. I would enjoy that, but that can't happen because they're gonna do something. They're gonna split up Sin Cara. I mean, I feel like they're gonna do something with Sin Cara and Kalisto.
That would be a good match.
Because at WrestleMania, it's going to be basically a ladder match for the U.S. belt. That's that's the talk.
I heard. Yeah, I heard it's gonna I've heard some rumors about IC and I've heard some rumors about U.S. And personally, I would like U.S. because one, you did the IC last year, and two, like if you look at the lower card, the lower ranks, they lend themselves better to ladder matches. You'd have a Neville, you'd have Kalisto, you'd have Miz in there. You can have
Xavier Wood would probably be in there.
Yeah. You just have I can just see a nice kind of like a light heavyweight division for the U.S. title ladder match. I think it would work out well.
What's his Tyler Breeze? You get Tyler Breeze in there. You get
Stardust.
Yeah. I mean, it's the usual suspects.
Yeah, why not throw them in?
But that's the thing, and very much like how that ended. It's like I told you. That's what the Miz did because apparently this was set up from a pre-show segment the week prior.
Yeah.
So.
I got a lot of Cleveland fans happy because someone was saying they need to team up, and I was like, yeah, they're both from Cleveland. They could wear Cavs colors. And the amount of likes that saying that got, it was ridiculous. Everyone's like, yeah, that'd be fucking sick. They're both from Cleveland.
What would it be called, man? Like, what would... Because, you know how they have to have these goddamn makeshift...
The Cleveland Steamers.
No.
No, I'm just joking. We get a good Steph promo, though. I think Stephanie and Vince cut very good promos. I think
this is beginning at 9:00. So
yeah.
We got Hunter at the beginning.
Yeah.
Got 9:00. We get the segment for fucking Steph. Again, this is part 2 of the McMahon-Helm day of Raw.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought Stephanie held her own with this one. It was kind of just, shooting down her brother. Like, why does Shane get all these stuff? I've been here.
He has a penis.
Yeah,
his sons have a penis.
Yeah, Shane's been gone. I like how she threw the table down, but then kept the trophy. So I was like, whoa, did she throw the trophy down? But then, the next shot was her turning around, with this, held
cradle,
trophy.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be the payoff. Her, going, fuck this thing.
Yeah.
But, from last week, her whole thing is that she cuts workers down.
Yeah.
And she will throw in almost every time that she's a woman. And she focused on that. Oh, because you're a man? You want to talk about how your sons? What about my daughters? It's because y'all got penises? Y'all penises is going to be the heir to this? That's, again, you've heard me talk about this. I'm on record. Get the fuck out of there with that crap. You're a strong woman. You got one obstacle in your way. His name is Shane O'Mac. So whenever you throw that shit out there, because I'm a woman, it's like, well, has been a woman held you back yet?
Exactly.
I just hate how they throw that in, and I don't know. My thing about this promo is that it didn't get the level of heat that I thought it deserved. She was trying to get it. Man, Philly would have gave her some heat. Brooklyn would have gave them some heat. Yeah. The heat she got last week when she won it, she's like, everyone's so supportive. Yeah. Woo! She was expecting to get that heat this week, and it wasn't there. Yeah. And that's the only thing that really set this thing back.
I think there's a big difference between the Southern wrestling fan and the Northeast wrestling fan. Is there's not gonna be a lot of chants. They're definitely watching. They're interested. If something happens, they're gonna freak out. They're more likely to talk shit to their least favorite heel than they are start you can't wrestle chants. It's a different type of mentality. But with that said, I do think this crowd really dove down. They took a break for the 2 hours of the show. The first half hour, everything was over with them. The last half hour, but that middle part right there, they did not really seem to care about much.
Well, they didn't give them much of anything, really,
That's true,
other than say,
we had
Styles and AJ versus the New Day. But you got the Lucha Dragons versus the League. The League of Nations. I will never, ever call them the League of Jobbers no more.
Yeah.
I like this faction. I enjoy this faction more than I thought that I would, because you take these guys, they're badass, and their camaraderie is something unmatched. You can tell that they're really making chicken salad, right, out of chicken shit. But something that they caught on last week for SmackDown is that fucking spinning finger gimmick they got now.
Del Rio does it kind of like every now and then.
Whenever he does the C, when he wants to put someone in the armbar.
Yeah. So now I guess they're all doing it at the top of the ramp. I noticed that too. That was cracking me up. Rusev cracks me up. Barrett always cracks me up. So yeah, I like these guys too.
It started Thursday. It started last Thursday. I was like, what the fuck is up with this? I could just see Kevin Dunn or somebody in the back like, yeah, just swing your fucking fingers. Swing. Like, emphasize on swinging your fingers, because they look kind of stupid doing it. They look so stupid doing it that I'm just like, I feel bad for these guys. Like, what the fuck? But they're still badass, and they're winning matches. They won this fucking match. Rusev's pins Kalisto
off a super kick.
Yeah, an 80-yard distraction and kick to the face and border stomp to Kalisto.
Yeah, I thought it was a good little match, solid little match. Nothing really to go over, but yeah, that super kick looked brutal.
It looked real brutal.
Yeah, they look strong, but what are they gonna? They're kind of in limbo too at Mania.
I feel like, I don't think they're in limbo. I think they will get their shot.
Sure,
with,
but as far as right now, like,
with New Day, I think it's definitely drifting towards a New Day. If not, I don't see why not bring in the Wyatts, because the Wyatts either going to turn face or turn heel. They got the babyface momentum. If they went up against the League of Nations, I think it would just be like just a badass. It would just be badass.
Yeah,
like the Shield.
And then you would have 4-on-4, where with New Day they'd have to get someone else, and then it's like, who do you get?
Yeah, it would be pretty badass, and it'd be a good way to send out Wade Barrett as well. So.
Oh yeah, well his is coming out in June, but it looks like they're probably not going to use much of him.
No. Yeah. But yeah, what else? So yeah, they win, and I think that's. I just think that's great. But poor Kalisto. Poor Kalisto.
U.S. champ. What's going on here?
You remember? I remember just 2 years ago when Rusev had that belt and it was a big deal.
Yeah, I remember a few months ago when John Cena had it and it was the most over thing on Raw.
And then it gets in Del Rio's hands. They don't even bring up how he won the motherfucker.
Well, he had it, but he was the guy who took it off Cena. So I think he had a little heat. It was still like...
But they never talked about it.
He was having to put it,
They never talked about it. They never talked about it.
Sure. And now it's on Kalisto, and he's a part of a tag team.
He's getting sunned.
Yeah, but what's your favorite Subway sandwich, Peter? See how I had to ask? We don't have to ask, because Natty just pretty much told us. We don't have to ask Natty's favorite sandwich. They acted like they were doing a promo in the back, and then they just cut to a Subway.
Turned into a Subway.
And then I saw this summer, she did a Burger King ad for chicken fries, man. She's just...
Oh, actually, it was a really good one. It was her and Tyson Kidd. It was actually pretty good.
But I'm just saying, man, what's up with that?
Payday. That used to be Payday spot, man.
That's awesome.
That used to be Payday spot. Payday, they had that little... You remember when they had that little thing with the most unorthodox... Because they had this whole unorthodox gimmick that they was doing, and I think Paige won for the women, and Dean Ambrose won for for the men.
Nice.
Not a good look.
Then Ryback versus Adam Rose with the rest of the Social Outcasts.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just pretty much a squash match. Shell shock.
I don't even think this was a squash match. I think this was more like a beat down.
Yeah.
This was literally a beat down. And poor Adam Rose to have to go in there and take that ass whooping. And poor Ryback. I mean, I get it, but every time it seems this guy has momentum, his direction gets lost. Like, where is Kane, right? To get pissed at him for jumping off the fucking apron last week. Where is someone from that collection, the Titans, to get mad at him over this? And then he gets this beatdown of a win, and then he runs off in heelish fashion. It's like, okay, I think the crowd didn't know what to do. I think the crowd
Yeah.
they didn't chant Goldberg at him. They didn't really boo him. And they didn't really cheer for anything. It was just like, well, what are we doing with this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I thought they were gonna have a Ryback Big Show match at Mania, but like we'll talk about that. But like, yeah, it's like, what are they heating him up for? What kind of match? You know, like it looks like they might just be heating him up for that Battle Royal entry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you have to keep that in mind too. You know what? You bring up a valid point. There are some storylines that are going to take place within the next 4 weeks that are going to be directed towards the Battle Royal.
Yeah, just like the Miz and Mizdow and things like that from last year. And that was, I mean, I enjoy that kind of thing. Like, especially if you're going to have everyone out there, get them involved in little mini feuds, and then have
Who brings it up first?
What, the Battle Royal?
Yeah, who brings up that they're going to win the Battle Royal first?
I
think Ryback will?
I think maybe you have a Ryback, maybe have Henry mention that he wants to do it because he's, getting close to the end.
Because here's the thing, you got that over-the-top Battle Royal, then you have the ladder match, right? Curtis Axel, is he in the Battle Royal or is he in the ladder match?
We got to put him in the Battle Royal with his success of Battle Royals over the years.
You don't think him being in a ladder match would be more entertaining?
Not necessarily.
How about this? The whole social outcast, because I feel like those guys are like in the middle of the road in terms of where you can put them, right?
Yeah.
Where is Bo Dallas in the ladder match or in the Battle Royal?
I'm saying all of the social outcasts is in the Battle Royal.
All of them?
Yeah, I think they're trying to make chicken salad, but I think that gimmick was made to look strong at Rumble, and then they didn't use a lot.
But they're winning their matches. They're winning. I mean, okay, so they didn't win this. Adam Rose didn't win this, but to call them the social jobbers, they haven't lost anything.
Yeah,
they've been winning. This is the first loss since they first got together.
Well, they lost to AJ and Jericho.
When was this?
In SmackDown.
Oh yeah, you're right. When was this?
A few weeks ago. I don't know. Maybe not last week, but the week before. Like whenever AJ and Jericho wrestled to main event SmackDown, one of the matches beforehand was take out the social outcast.
Okay, you're
AJ
right.
beat Axel on SmackDown as well.
Okay. All right. But they have been getting wins.
Yeah, they're looking stronger. I think this is definitely a group they're stronger together. They were just kind of like sinking like rocks, waiting to be future endeavored. But I think bringing them together, kind of helps their cause. I'd much rather be these guys than the Ascension.
Yeah.
And if you look like a year ago, you definitely wouldn't.
The Radical Mongoose.
Yeah.
The Red Dragon. The what is Curtis?
They call him Crimson Dragon.
Yeah.
They might have gotten in trouble.
What is he? The Tank.
I think they just call him the Tank. And I don't know.
House Cats.
And then Bo is Bo Rida.
Bo Rida. Is the House Cats a shout out to Tyson Kidd? Do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Probably, maybe.
But I like to split it down the middle. I like to think that Curtis Axel and Keith Slater can be in the U.S. Match, and I can
if it is the U.S. It might.
And I can see Axel Rose. I can see Axel Rose. I can see.
Adam Rose, and Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas in the
Battle Royal.
In the Battle Royal.
I can see that. We got the New Day versus Y2AJ. Chris Jericho and AJ Styles.
Hey, don't catch a fucking Styles clash by saying that shit to me. It's either or. Walls of Jericho or something.
Yeah.
Don't say that shit around me.
Probably, I can reverse that shit,
You can. You won't.
I really like this match. How when Xavier Woods jumps on the apron because Jericho's going for the lion salt, but then quickly turns his attention to Woods, taking him out with a drop kick. So it's like a springboard to the side drop kick. It was just a nice little spot Jericho's been doing lately, where he can kind of like springboard from anywhere. Building up to the big lion salt. What do you think about this match, Peter?
The New Day gets on my goddamn nerves.
Yeah.
And Big E Langston he's in that top 3 of most underrated workers on the roster. That guy's badass.
Yeah, he's good.
He can work his ass off. his speed, his agility, and then the way that he can build his own heat, I think it's something that is incredible. I mean, if Titus O'Neil had at least a fraction of the talent and charisma that Big E had, he'd be headlining WrestleMania.
Sure.
Like,
That's why, I mean, I know you said they annoy you, and I definitely get what you're saying there, but I love the New Day because of their work rate, and their promos are at least going to get some reaction out of you. If you're not like, what the fuck, you're going to cheer, or you're going to boo. But yeah, that's why I love the New Day, and I think that's how they've gotten so far above this tag team division. Like, they're definitely leagues over.
Matt Miro, Mike Miro is his name. He used to work for the Torch.
Okay.
Miro. No, you don't.
I'm not sure what.
Oh no, he was on the JR report. They were reviewing They were reviewing Fastlane, and he spoke up. He was just like, it's a glorified minstrel show now. And it is. I even have a little, like, shoot myself. 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, it's like, the unicorn gimmick. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's just like, you go from being like...
They need to be brought in.
There's one solid gimmick of just brothers trying to get over, it, by uniting. And then they turned into something else, which just, at first, it was cool, but then when they went unicorn, I lost them. I lost them after the whole unicorn thing. And we're on record. We were talking about it because they had the shirts, and it was like, okay, we got these shirts. And now we're going to just talk about how we're unicorns. And I just go like, oh, man, they're slipping. And I imagine anyone who gets into that shit is like, they want to see that kind of performance. And I go like, I don't ever want to see that kind of performance. It really overshadows them. Because we didn't even bring up their promo. Like, what the fuck? Like, shut up. Like, just go to the ring now. I don't have to hear you talk every time you come to the ring. The crowd was dead. You're trying to be, nerds and gimmicky, and it's like, no, you're going over people's heads with this whole, like, kind of video game anime shit, I don't know. It's just silly. The Bootios shit, though, is still funny. Yes. The Bootios is funny, but everything outside of that, and now they got these drawings and shit of them, I'm not really a big fan of. But, what is it? Kofi taps to the walls of Jericho.
Walls, yeah.
He reverses a Trouble in Paradise into the walls. Thursday, did you watch SmackDown?
I did not watch SmackDown this week.
You did?
I did not.
Okay, so when AJ Styles with Neville faced the New Day last Thursday, Kofi Kingston was going to hit AJ Styles with a Trouble in Paradise. Mm-hmm. Jericho shoves him out the way and took it himself. That's why he had the shiner. Caught him right in the face.
Damn.
And this week, he was ready for it.
He got him with
he
the
got,
walls.
He got his Matrix on. He got his Dodge on. And then he put him in the walls. Well, I thought, like, I would say over the past 4 weeks, probably the most consistent sort of storyline of a moment that I've seen. Like, he's like, oh, you're not going to get me this time, motherfucker.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Jericho's great. Yeah, like, I get what you're saying with this New Day stuff, but definitely not in ring. Like, you just mentioned Big E Langston and, of course, Kofi Kingston. And Xavier Woods, I mean, they don't let him go, but in TNA when I saw him, he was great. I mean, he would have matches with AJ Styles and everything like that.
I never said he was a bad worker.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, but I'm just making a point. I was like, I think that's like how it's kind of hard to argue against the New Day, but they are getting so out there that it's hard to like understand what they're talking about. Like most of the time, I don't get these references that Xavier Woods is dropping, and
I get them all. Because I follow a little bit of the stuff that they talk about. I mean, their stuff is surface. It's like surface anime.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Like maybe a lot of times I'll like know the cartoon they're talking about, but like I don't get it enough to like laugh at the joke.
Yeah.
And you're ultimately,
they're not funny.
Yeah.
Like how about that?
See, I needed to be told that. I don't know what's going. See what you're saying? Like they're. I'm definitely one of those guys that's going over their heads. So I just wait for the ring.
No. It's one thing to have something go over your head, right? It's one thing to have something go over your head. It's one thing for it not to be funny. Most cases, it's not funny.
Well, what do you think about Crisley Knows Best? What do you think he thinks about the New Day?
Well,
he was at
all
ringside.
I know is I remember last year when he showed up, and there was like this one dude behind him that was like, doing a whole like blowjob thing, and I was like looking to wait for someone behind him this time to do some crazy shit, but
Yeah.
he was able to beat it like Triple H beat the Wet Chance.
Yeah. I don't think anyone really knew who he was. Yeah,
They know who he is. I mean, Chrisley is he's a C-list celebrity.
Yeah, because of that show.
Yeah, because of that show.
How is that's it? Like he wasn't famous beforehand.
I think he was just rich.
Oh, well.
I think he owns a couple of businesses. I don't know. He's from Nashville, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they said on the show.
I think Chrisley is like a name on like Don Cheney or something.
Yeah, I hear that. I get
Cheney
that.
Properties are like someone who's just.
I have one buddy who he watches the show and he says it's just he's pretty much like the whole thing is just like he gets mad at his kids. That's the whole.
Yeah. And it's just dumb one-liners.
Yeah, just gets mad at his kids and can like kind of like cut a little promo on them. That's it. Just people just watch him cut promos on kids.
You know what? I want to check it out now just to know he's cutting promos on his kids.
Maybe we should review it like it's a wrestling show.
You know what? We do that next week.
The kid goes heel.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
He kicks out at 2.
Yeah, Vince comes out
at 10.
Yeah,
Now
at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, and now just to sort of build you up to this, he sets up the match with Shane O'Mac, who's not at the show. What the fuck? With the Undertaker. Now, I'll put my foot in my mouth from last week. I said a bunch of things that are just too whatever. They were wrong. They were wrong. There's still hope. But he sets the match with the Undertaker. Now I'm thinking that Vince McMahon he just said, "Hey, Undertaker under duress," right? And here's the Undertaker. He returns to Raw since Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking he's showing up to be like, whatever. Maybe Cena shows up. I don't know. But I'm thinking we were gonna get more than what we got.
I think everyone thought they were going to get more than what they got. They've been hyping him up for a full week on the show and everything, and he comes out for about 30 seconds.
It takes him 3 minutes to get to the ring.
Yes, it was 5 minute and 30-second Undertaker. 5 minutes to get to the ring, 30 seconds to cut this promo, man. I can't.
And 2 minutes to leave.
Yeah. But I thought it was good. I think less is more with all this stuff is like what I said, and I think when he grabbed him and put his hands, he's like, your son's blood is going to be on your hand.
You know what I do?
Yeah.
And by the way, I saw immediately a meme. It was Undertaker hemming up with the chokehold around Vince McMahon. Undertaker suspended 90 days for misconduct.
Yeah. For real.
I thought I was like, too soon? Jesus Christ.
Did you see, like, Scott Hall said something, like, I guess he didn't know. He tweeted out today. He said, like, Titus O'Neil is my pick to win the Battle Royal. I think he's been doing great this year. And Titus O'Neil had to tell him, like, hey, man, thanks for the support, but I'm not going to be there. Like, and then,
wow.
Like, yeah. So, like, yeah, like, a lot of people...
You think it was, like, you say Scott Hall?
Yeah.
Scott Hall has to know.
You think so?
I think he was, like...
Hyping it up?
He was marking out.
Yeah,
he was being a mark. He was kind of being a smart mark.
But
he is a smart mark.
Sure. I thought like, going back to this segment here, I thought it was great. Like, Vince comes out, cuts a great Vince promo. You hear him say, like, he's just going to teach Shane a lesson. And then you have Taker come out and say, like, hey, man, like, you booked this match. It's not my fault if your son gets very badly hurt. And, like, Hell in the Cell is his match.
Yeah, once that door closed.
Yeah.
The blood is going to be on your hands. And then, Vince McMahon proceeds to keep going. I thought it was it. But no, which was really interesting because I'm like, it's almost like a Coen film. It's up, one of the biggest gripes about Coen film is like the movie's over in the middle of the movie, right? They should just close up shop. Just close up shop at the middle of a movie. Once they get to the end of the movie, that's when I just like goes, ugh. But it was good that this kept going. It was awkward, but it kept going. Because you think, Taker leaves, that's the end of the segment. That's what we've been building up for. But he goes, nope, sorry, I'm going to keep going here. Which was, I thought, in itself was just pretty funny. I'm Vince McMahon, I play with my own rules. And he continues to cut the promo on his son. It's like, I'm going to write you out of my will. I am going to disown you as a son. And you will go from being my son to a son of a bitch.
Yeah. What a line. And then, like, the crowd is, like, shocked, like, what?
Yeah, I know, it's so awkward. It's so awkward. That was, like, one of the most... I would say if there could be a Slammy for most awkward moment of this year, is that post because he's like choked up too. He's still suffering from like getting choke slammed by the Undertaker.
He cracked me up when he got the water afterward, like
to
drink it and everything.
But that was an awkward moment of the year. Him calling his son a son of a bitch, and this is like his second week cursing. Last week,
he said the F word. Even in the Attitude Era.
Say fuck on this podcast, you know.
Oh yeah, I guess okay. He said,
I know you try to be the baby face, try to be the squeaky clean white meat baby face over here. You don't want to use any derogatory language in front of the kids that look so far up to you. You know, like goddamn.
Going on to like Jay Uso versus Bubba Ray Dudley. What'd you think of this match, Peter?
All right, another moment where I stick my foot in my mouth. I like the heel turn. I've said this on. Hey! Wait! Hey! Now, hey!
This is awesome.
Hey, you! When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Okay? They still don't have much of the direction. You know, I feel like I would hate for them to be dog food to the Usos. So what's happening right here is like this SmackDown. You got Devon versus Jimmy. Devon wins that on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. He doesn't hit a finisher, though. Does Devon has a finisher?
I don't think Devon has a finisher. We'll have to look back to the brother Devon days. Or not the brother, the Reverend Devon days.
Okay. Because the way that ended was like a distraction. Jimmy was left wide open, and he just kind of rolls him up.
Yeah, this one was a distraction, though, but they used a table. And
Devon,
they used the table after they said they wouldn't, so that's the heel.
I think the table itself is to be like, this is so unexpected. You done told us that you're not going to use the table.
Sure.
And it came out to their advantage because Jimmy was like, holy shit. He runs over, gets a handful of fucking table, a face full of table.
Yeah, which I think it's hilarious because it's like the exact same thing they were doing to get cheered. But since they said they weren't going to do it and they're not going to do it anymore, made a big deal about
it. Hypocrites,
yeah, and then they do the exact same thing. You're just like, what?
So now they're heels for using the tables.
Exactly, which is going. It's like it's gone 360 because that's originally how it started. That they used heels for the table.
That's the magic of the Dudleys and who they are in terms of their promos that they cut and the way they perform. The guys, they ain't new to this. It goes to show. Like, are you serious? Like, what we want is what we're going to boo you for now? You can't do that. That's like a Cena promo. Yeah. You know? Like, you come out and booing you. By the time I leave, you're going to be fucking cheering my name. But here's the Bubba Bomb.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Does he have another finisher?
I think other than like the tag team stuff, I think the Bubba Bomb is his.
Does he have a DDT though? Doesn't he do like basically his? Isn't one of his finishers like basically the Dirty Deeds?
Maybe I don't watch a lot of TNA. I know he was really over there, and I've seen some of his stuff. But he might have some stuff. But I'm not caught up in my Bubba Ray finishers. Let us know if you guys watch TNA.
Oh yeah, if you did watch TNA.
I sometimes watch TNA. I look through it, try to find the Trevor Lee matches and everything.
Yeah.
I would say now that he's on the program, I've I at least look for it. You know,
they're looking for investors. They're looking for people to buy. You got a couple of thousand.
No, yeah. I heard Wale's trying to buy in.
I think that's all crap. That was just for the marks to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, how about this, man? If I want to buy anything to that magnitude, now granted it's TNA, it's still a business. If it has a television fucking deal, like, you know, it's not like George Lucas got in touch with Bad Robot. What's his name? The Bad Robot guy. He did Godzilla. The Lost.
Oh,
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
It's not like George Lucas sent a tweet to J.J. Abrams and said, "Hey, bro, you want to write the next Star Wars?" Yeah. You know, like, you don't do that.
Yeah, sure.
And then Wale texts Rick Ross, I mean, tweets Rick Ross like, "Hey man, let's buy a wrestling company." It's like, and everyone fucking shit their pants. I'm like, no.
Oh, I didn't. I just saw the headline. I thought there was a little more to it than just a tweet.
That's all it was.
Because I was thinking Rick Ross lives in the area. He lives in Florida. Might be.
And he just happens to have money. He just happened to be a fucking wrestling fan. Like, I don't know, dude. If
well,
you
that's
buy
what
that
happened.
company,
I mean, if you look at the company, there's like Billy Corrigan. Like,
is he still involved?
Yeah, he's still involved.
He's richer than both of those fucks put together.
That's what I'm saying. So it looks like nowadays it's just like it just is a bunch of wrestling fans, like and like Shane Helms and Abyss.
But why don't Corgan just buy it? He don't want to buy that crap.
I think it's a bad investment. I think it's a sinking ship, and everyone knows it. For the reason they're looking for investors, I think it's because Panda Energy's bailing out, and that's her own father's company.
And Pop, their ratings have dropped exponentially.
Yeah, they got as soon as they made a big braggadocious claim saying like they got more people than the other channel they were on, Destination America. And they were bragging that they were going to be on more homes on this one and everything. But then right as that happened, like I think Time Warner and like DirecTV just like dropped them. So like they're actually not on as many homes as the initial deal. But whatever, TNA is just it's a sinking ship. Sucks that Kurt Angle is still affiliated. But
well, he did that to himself. Fuck him.
Yeah, we get Goldust and R Trizzle in the back.
He finally nipped it in the bud.
Yeah, and
basically, but he feels bad.
Yeah, Archer just like yells at him like, "I don't want to be your partner, man. I got my own thing going." And then when he leaves, Truth is a little upset. I was upset. Poor Goldust.
He's like, "Hey."
I didn't mean it like that, but I did kind of mean it like that.
This is a solid storyline.
Yeah.
5 weeks straight, man. Five time. That's 5 weeks straight. Like solid pay-per-view spot, everything. These motherfuckers have gotten more airtime.
Yeah, because of this whole thing.
Than Dolph Ziggler, fucking
Miz,
Kevin Owens. Damn near. I mean, what you think?
Yeah, you can just list the world champions that these guys are
getting more fucking time to.
This is true. That's a good point.
Owens, this is my favorite show. I love this feud. I love this feud.
Yeah, Kevin Owens versus Big Show.
Can't speak about it more. Their first match was on SmackDown because Kevin Owens. We're on the road to Owens Mania, and you're on the road to retirement, which is that way. Oh, did you not see that?
No, that's
on
hilarious.
SmackDown, I chuckled. And Big Show's like, "You son of a bitch, you smart ass." He's like, "I got a match with you tonight because Thursday the build. I'm gonna make this quick. The build was Owens felt so inspired by Ambrose's performance last Monday that he was actually going to give him a rematch on SmackDown for the IC belt. And he's like, "Well, he's not here. Oh, then I got a night off." Big Show shows up. "Hey, what's up? Fuck you. All right, I got a match with you, you smart ass." They do the match. Big Show loses because he fucking busts his nuts. Count out. And that's what short and sweet. They perform. It's like Big Show has some fire under his ass in the ring. I love it.
Do you think this is going to be a Mania match? I mean, Big Show, former champion. They're trying to heat up Kevin Owens. Last year they kind of did the ladder match kind of a thing, and I can't really remember a good IC title match in the recent years for Mania. I'm sure there is one. It's just not coming to mind. But a Big Show Owens, I can see that happening.
I wouldn't be surprised because think about it. Who is the defending over the top Battle Royal champion?
Big Show. That's true.
Big Show, right? Because they have a U.S. belt up that's going to be up, that's going to need some significant time. There will not. I'm thinking there won't be a title match. But how about this? Wouldn't it be interesting? And this is all fantasy booking right now. What if the over the top Battle Royal incorporated the IC belt? Whoever won it, just like the Royal Rumble with Roman Reigns. How about Kevin Owens defends the IC belt in the over the top Battle Royal? Raise the stakes a little bit. And then you got Big Show, who's the defending champion, and they're in a feud. It's like, I'm coming for that belt. You got to throw me out.
That might work, but
but then Mark Henry has to win it. And
I think it's going to be down to Mark and Braun for that this year. But you got to fill out this Mania card. I mean, the past years this thing's had 10 matches on it. We only know about 3. You got the speculation. You got the 3-way, and you have a bunch of speculations after that. I think that we need like a nice little one-on-one match to just like kick things off.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be a good one. If it falls to a pre-show match, then that's fine. Like it's nothing that anyone's clamoring for, but I think it would fit well on the show.
So they're 1-1 because even Stevens, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't look weak. They both look dumb because they bust their nuts on the ropes. But moving forward, we'll see. It's just so much time. I mean, 4 weeks. You got to stretch that thing out, man.
Sure. I mean, we'll see where it goes. We have a Brie with Renee in the back
That needs fucking soundproof.
Yeah.
Sounds, because you could hear last match counts.
Oh, I didn't know that. You could?
Yeah, like it's
Wow.
clear as day.
I didn't catch that. But Lana shows up out of nowhere. Really, they apparently have beef now. Do you think we're gonna see the debut of Lana in ring at Mania?
I don't know. I don't even care. This is just one of those things where I go, play it out. They've been training Lana.
Yeah,
they've been training her.
I was trying to look into that, but I forgot.
What I said on the live recap is that maybe, just maybe, it turns into a Pokemon thing where Lana possibly gets Rusev to fight in her honor against Brie Bella, and not Daniel Bryan, but it would have to be someone in her honor and not necessarily have her fight. Because they're not going to get Lana in that ring. I'm sorry. And to have basically the blind leading the blind in a match, they're both going to get killed.
It's kind of, that's what I was saying. This definitely wouldn't be a bad match, but I think it might be a good like cat fight, like the old ECW, and like with the women's work rate being what it is on the main roster, there is that void of the the just like the hair tugging brawl, and I think this match, this feud might bring out that.
Well, I think it may be a situation where they bring in, if this is going to go towards Mania, do they go and get like superstars, like a mainstream or B-list celebrities?
I can see something like that happening, or like I don't know if you saw like the Rusev thing where he said he was going to give away the Maserati.
Yeah.
Do you think that might have something to tie into something like that?
No, they mentioned it during the main event.
Mm-hmm.
About how it was a pre-show thing that some guys were trying to body slam him, and they were all unsuccessful.
Well, yeah, I think that's going to build and build and build to something.
No, I don't see that. I see nothing
really
of this. I think it was like they pulled out of it. They pulled out of it like in the last second.
I think that just might be wishful thinking, because I was looking forward to it, that old school segment, like Lex Luger coming in, body slamming Yokozuna type of thing.
Yeah, but this was the case. I think because it was like this big announcement. Even WWE was Twitter was making a big deal out of it, but it just ended up being like a
nothing.
Yeah, I guess a means to watch the pre-show.
I guess so.
And then you get the Brie versus Naomi match, and Naomi wins.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, I love her so much. She's looking good, man. She's gone away from the dark clothing. She's wearing brighter clothes. Maybe there's a baby face coming her way, but my lord, those features can never look any better, man. Fuck that Maserati, man. It's all about Naomi, baby. But that weird scissor stretch thing, that was awkward. Like, what the fuck was that? It was like a crucifix.
Oh, pulling it back. I mean,
stretch with the legs tap out. I was like, what are you doing here? Like, I just thought
now I know what you're talking about. I think everything gets a little awkward with Brie.
God.
With Brie in there. I think, Naomi's good, but, I mean, you can't...
She had to fight her arm out of the scissors.
tap. But yeah.
And then Lana comes out after the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Maybe we're going to see Lana wrestling in the future. We get the announcement from Rolling Stones that the Freebirds are going to be in the Hall of Fame. I think everyone could see this.
Good for them.
Court Bauer made a good point on a podcast today. Who do you think's going to wear the better pimp suit, Godfather or Michael Hayes?
I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Hayes just come out shirtless. Honestly, I mean, well, I guess that's the question: who's gonna come out shirtless? The Godfather, or who's gonna have more hair on their chest?
This is true.
Is the bear off?
Let's see it.
Silverback, gorilla off. That's what we got here.
This looks like, this Hall of Fame definitely looks like a party more so than other years with the Freebirds and the Godfather all going in. Looks like there's going to be some good vibes. Good for them. They deserve it, especially in Texas. And then other than the a little segment with Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, we already went over the main event segment. I guess that's it for Raw.
Well, you find out after, because there's that moment where they give a bunch of announcements of how things move forward, either towards SmackDown or next week's Raw. But it's finalized that Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks will have a rematch on SmackDown to find out who's the number one contender. Sure. And then we finally, we didn't bring this up, but after the New Day lose to Styles and Jericho, AJ Styles finally speaks again, and he's like, "Hey, I'm new around here, but we just beat you guys. Oh yeah." And it seems that we're at the top of the food chain to get y'all belts, and then Chris Jericho takes over because not only does he get the win, he gets the final word. It's like, man, you're living in obscurity to fucking Jericho. Like, you're the new star. Why is Jericho getting the victories and getting most of the speaking duties? But he's like, yeah, we're going to challenge all black motherfuckers. Tonight, that's not what they said, but
imagine.
But we're going to challenge you to SmackDown for the belts. And rather this be a WrestleMania scene like towards
that's what
WrestleMania,
I thought, for sure.
But this I guess this first of three, I guess, whatever matches between the three of them, or something. I don't know. This is for the belt. It's going to be on SmackDown.
Let's see what happens.
We'll definitely see what happens. But another thing I brought up in like the live Peter Raw recap is that if you've noticed a trend, is that like there's this crazy buddy veteran system that's going on with almost all the feuds. Roman Reigns, Triple H.
Yeah.
Big Show, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
You got AJ Styles. He's gonna and Chris Jericho. He's gonna turn. You got Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose. There's no one real feud right now that's like parallel in terms of existence on the card.
Sure.
Like let's just say there's no Neville Kalisto going on here. It's ADR Kalisto. But even more so, it's Big Show and Kevin Owens. In your wildest dreams, did you think that would ever be a pairing?
I never thought it, but once I saw it on SmackDown, like I said, like kind of like I do with TNA, I kind of like skip through and see if there's anything worth watching. I kind of stopped and was like, "Oh, Owens and Big Show." So I'm now that it's out and a feud and everything, I'm pretty excited to see where it'll go.
Even the Divas, you got Ric Flair basically looking over.
Yeah,
Sasha Banks.
I think Ric Flair helps every segment he's in. He's hilarious.
She's going to have to stand on her own at some point.
I also think Rusev is another good guy. Like he was cracking me up during the main event. He was cracking me up on the pre-show, trying to get body slam for that car and everything. And plus, he's a great in-ring worker. I think they're really dropping the ball with this guy, especially compared to where he was last year at this time going into Mania. I think he's a great talent, almost as much as Bray. They're losing him.
No, they already lost him. They're paying these guys so well too. But again, they pay them to stay in place, to know their role, which is sad. With all these injuries, you would think, and that's what's the thing about the Shane McMahon. Again, it sucks that they didn't follow the momentum into Nashville. He didn't have to be on next week, but I think he needed to be on this week.
Really? You don't think that's an overkill? I think
no.
I think with Taker, Taker and Shane less is more. I'm saying. But what are you?
I'm thinking he could have had just one-on-one with his sister, and then next week, that's fine. You can focus more on like the in-ring stuff than say the storyline. But he could have came out and confronted his sister, and it could have been a one-on-one with those two, just to build her anger and frustration up just a little more while she's cutting a promo. She goes out. She's interrupted by her brother wants This time she's interrupted by her brother's chants, her brother's ghost.
Yeah.
But he could have come out and interrupted again. It's like, motherfucker, all I want to do is give this goddamn speech. You know? Who do you think you are? You know? And it's just like, she slaps him. You know? Look at me booking shit.
Look at that.
But like, it could have built up, you know? And I go, next week they couldn't have done without him. But almost like when Sting debuted after Survivor Series. That night he wasn't on the show the next week. And it was like, wow. It's one thing to be overkill, but that's also underkill too. When you take someone off TV, you know, when there's momentum, you know.
I don't know. I think that pop was when they were writing. I don't think it was an unexpected thing that Shannon got that big of a reaction, and I think it's just only going to dwindle down. I think less is more, especially with Taker and Shane.
But not in these cities. I mean, you got. Okay, Nashville is probably the only dip.
Well, Nashville's a big city.
But it's still like it's
compared to Detroit, Chicago. I think it's
Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh and Philly.
Pittsburgh, Philly, yeah,
and Brooklyn.
Yeah, these are big. Major cities around the world. Where Nashville is a major U.S. city, I guess you would say.
Yeah, but they didn't trust them to give as much of a pop or overkill because he's gonna be.
Well, that's good because I think through even Undertaker coming out, they didn't freak out.
Yeah, no, to crickets. Yo, Vince came out to the most crickets. It was almost like he's like, what?
Yeah.
And he even mentions that at the beginning of his promo. This is what I get.
Yeah,
you guys suck.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was going on with them.
They probably drunk.
Well,
they all came from that bar. They always shoot that shot. Every week they shoot that same. Every time they go to Nashville, they go to that same pub.
Yeah. Have you been to Nashville?
Nah.
That street. Okay, like sometimes you go to cities and you're like, oh, this isn't like they say it is. But when you go to Nashville, you're overwhelmed by how much this is exactly how everyone says it is. It's
like Bourbon Street.
Yeah, it's the arena that they shoot it from is like right down the street from about 5 blocks of just country western bars. Every bar has, no matter how tiny it is, has someone playing in it.
Well, they always shoot from that same bar. They even had the 3MB in that same bar that one time.
Yeah.
To do a fake concert, so to speak.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the spot they go to. I know JBL
Every
said
time.
JBL was like, I'm gonna spend a month in there tonight.
Yeah, you would. Remember last time was it Memphis or?
I can't imagine spending his month. I don't know what his month is.
His month is fucking racking in money.
Yeah,
he still works for Fox.
Yeah, and he has Isn't he like an investor? Or?
He owns an energy company.
Wow. Yeah. So
he owns an energy company. It's
damn.
What is it called? What's this? Layfield Energy.
Oh yeah. Wow. I know he lives on not a private island, but he lives on a smaller island just out there.
I live on a Mago. I live on a private island, Mago. You gotta get yourself a Mago.
Well, I know we didn't do a best and worst, but do you want to do maybe a best and worst of Raw? Since we're kind of just
we gotta kill this too. So I would say you want to go first since you introduced it.
Sure. I'm gonna say my worst is the Nashville crowd just not giving a fuck, especially when Taker and Vince are coming out and everything. But my best, I know I kind of shit on Triple H a lot, but when he threw Baron Saxon, best moment of Raw, cracked me up. And then Michael Cole just calling it like as a normal fucking move. Yeah. Saxon goes flying, not upset at all.
They still shit on.
No respect, man. He's the Rodney Dangerfield of the booth.
I would say the best. I would definitely say the best is just I'm raving over the Owens Big Show. Yeah, Owens Big Show. Even that match itself, it really was fun to watch.
Sure.
Worse, I would say the fact that we didn't get how about something that was actually on the show? The worst, the fact that they cut that fucking segment in the back during a match.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. But what the hell are you doing, WWE?
Yeah, that was you dropped the ball on that one. Come on, go to a soundproof room. Go to somewhere you can't further away. A soundproof room away from the cheers.
Yeah.
Of the last fucking match, you hear
you got it all.
1, 2. You hear the counts clear as day. But you got some plugs?
Yeah, Fast and World podcast every Thursday. Watch NXT, keep up with us. Thanks a shit ton for liking that. GorillaPress.com puts it up every week. Really appreciate it. Talk to me at JG Pro Wrestling. SoundCloud.com/JG Pro Wrestling for all the Fast in the World downloads.
Special announcement. Next week, Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin, episode 82, 83. We're going live. We're going to test it out. So if you're listening, be sure to tune in at 5:15. We're going to go live. Do it live.
Fuck it.
Do it live.
Yeah.
So make sure you tune in for that.
That's cool.
Since I've been doing the Peter's Raw recaps live, the last two, the first one was kind of a botch. This week ran better.
Hell yeah.
And now we're just going to see, because we may do a live post game after WrestleMania. If we're around each other, we're going to do that.
Hell yeah.
So look for more live stuff, because I have the capabilities to do it. The only plug I want to say is subscribe below. You know what it is. PJTW Central, Ellen Japanese. Subscribe. Add. Playlist. Like. Share.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you know what it is. You'll see me Saturday for Peter's Talk SmackDown. And then, again, he has Fast in the World podcast.
Oh,
you got any last words?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Watch out for those foreign objects. See you this Saturday. Peace.